Good morning, Emerald class, and welcome to our maths lesson. This morning we are going to be multiplying two-digit numbers using a grid, and the first thing that we're going to have a look at this morning is a little starter. This is something that we've been doing earlier in the week, and this first one is to use the grid below 2 times by 10. We've been doing this and we've got the number 18, which we're going to times by 10. And you've got to try and think of the answer. You follow the instructions, move each digit one place to the left, and the tens becomes 100, and the 8 ones becomes 110, and then you need to use your 0 to hold the place. It's used to hold that spot for the next number. And if you can think of the answer, we need to pop it back into this equation at the top. And your answer should be 180. Hopefully you got that right. And for those cool challenges, we've got to use the stars to work out 5 lots of 4 this morning. And we've got 5 groups here of 4 stars. And we can count using our counting on in 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16 and 20, or we can switch those two multipliers and we can do 4 lots of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, and we come up with the same answer. Okay, so today we have a little think about this little question here before we move on to using the grid. And this is a sort of question that you can solve using this grid method. There are 21 children in a class. How many children are in 2 classes? And how many children are there in 4 classes? You've got 2 tens and a 1, so that's 21 children. What ways can you solve this? So think of the first one, how many children are there in 2 classes? How could you solve this? What methods could you use with more than one? We know quite a few of these. We did a list of them last week. Have a think about the different ways that you could solve this. You might want to pause the video here. And the other way of doing it is to think about how many children there would be in 4 classes. And have a little think about that one. And different ways you could solve this. And pause the video. Brilliant. Okay, so we can think about lots of different ways of doing this. One of the ways that we could do this is by doubling these numbers. If we're doing the 2 classes, we could use counting on methods. We could use a grid that we've been using. We could use manipulatives. There's plenty of different ways that I'm sure that you've come up with. So the way that we're going to do today, we're going to have a look at the grids. These shouldn't be new to you because we used these last week doing some multiplication, and we use place value counters. So it's the same grid, it's a place value grid, and it will help us to multiply larger numbers because we're in year 3 now. We move on to 2-digit numbers to multiply by a 1-digit number, getting you ready for lots higher numbers when we reach year 3 and above. Okay, so it's getting ready. So the first thing we do is we partition this 2-digit number into tens and ones. 21 becomes 20 and 1, and then we're going to put these 2 partition numbers into our grid. First column here is the tens column, then the ones column, so let's pop them in. 20 and 1, so that's the 2-digit number that's been partitioned, and then we're going to use the multiplier in here to do our times tables. I'm going to multiply by 2. Now we do this place value little trick as well, which your starter reminded you of. You can do 2 times 2, which will give you 4, and then put that over into the next column, into the next place value, and put in your placeholder 0 to come up with 40. Or you could do two 10s, so 2 lots of 2 10s is 4 10s, which is 40. And then you've got 2 times 1 is 2. Now the trick is to remember to add these together, recombining them, the 10s and the 1s, by adding them up. So 40 add 2 is 42, and you've got to remember that goes back into that, become the final answer for your equation. So 21 times 2 is 42, and you can just double check that that looks right. 2 lots of 20 is 40, 2 lots of 1 is 2, 42. Hopefully you're managing to keep track. Right, next one is we're going to come back to that class of 4 classes of 21 children now to help us multiply. We're going to partition the same number, 21. We're going to partition it to 10s and 1s. It becomes 20 and 1 again. Just to make sure you've got this method, we're going to put it into the 10s and 1s. 20 and 1 times this time by 4, because that's the multiplicand here in our number sentence. So this time we're going to multiply again. We've got 4 times 20, so 4 2s are 8. 4 times 20 is 80. If you can count up in 20s, that can, just double check it as well. 20, 40, 60, 80. That works too. And then 4 times 1 is 4. What we're going to do now, see if you can remember. Yep, we've got to add them back up, recombine those numbers, get the 10s. 80 add 4 is 84. Oh, don't forget to put your answer back in to that number sentence. That's something that we often slip up in class, but not going to do it now. Oh no. So this is your first question today. So this is the question that's on your sheet, and so I'm giving you a little bit of a head start. So if you've uploaded or printed out your worksheet, that's really good, because you can get started on that one straight away. If not, don't worry, you can use any paper, it's not a problem. And I've put the number sentences on there for you if you haven't got that sheet out. So on the end of this, you can pause the video and get your questions as well. So don't worry. Okay, so we've got 13 times 3 this time. Let's partition that first 2-digit number, and the 2-digit number is a 13. So we split that 13 into 10s and 1s. It's 1 10 and a 3. 3 1s. So they split into 10s and 1s, 1 10 and 3 1s. And we're going to times it by 3. Then we're going to multiply. 3 times 10 is 30. So 3 lots of 1 is 3. Move those digits and we get 30. Or we can count up in 10s, 10, 20, 30. And then we've got 3 times 3, which is 9. And then we're going to add them together, recombine those numbers. 30 plus 9 is 39. And let's shoot that little number, that answer, back into that number sentence at the top. So we get the right answer. You don't leave anybody trying to work out what you've done here. You put that final answer in. Brilliant. So we're ready to get on with our work now. We are going to multiply the 2-digit numbers using a grid. And for some on the worksheet, I've actually put in some grids for you. You will need to get yourself a ruler as well, because the last few are for you to draw the grids in. Hopefully you can get those in nice and neatly and clearly, so that you can use them really well and get the right answers. So you're going to copy the number sentence or the equation. You're going to leave a little space, draw your place value grid in with an extra column on the left hand side for your multiplication sign and your multiplier. That's the single digit that you're multiplying by today. You're going to partition the 2-digit number, writing the 10s and 1s at the top of the grid, and then you're going to multiply, putting each answer into the grid. getting those recombined numbers and adding them together at the end. Then you put your final answer into your number sentence, and then you'll be an absolute superstar. Mrs. Ludlow's best, obviously. Okay, and I'm going to leave the questions up for you here, just in case you haven't got that, you can't print out, it's not a problem. You can just do it on some scrap paper. Try and make it nice and clear so you practice those skills of using your ruler and making your place value grid, and hopefully getting the right answers. Okay, so good luck with that. Hope that goes well. Have a good try. Don't get confused. You can always come back to the video and have another little go. And that's it for me for now. Okay, take care now. Bye for now.